A journey through North America's most haunted mansions welcome seekers of the eerie and wanderers of the supernatural to a chilling exploration of North America's most haunted mansions. Beneath the grand facades, towering spires, and sprawling estates lies a darker side to these opulent dwellings, one where ghostly apparitions, spectral voices, and unexplained phenomena linger in the shadows of history. If you've ever felt an inexplicable chill while wandering through a stately manor or heard whispers carried by the wind as you explored its dimly lit corridors, then you're not alone. These mansions are more than just relics of wealth and power. They are portals to another realm, where the past refuses to fade into obscurity. In this video, we'll delve deep into the stories of North America's most infamous haunted mansions, places where the boundaries between life and death blur like the mist that clings to their ancient walls. From the mournful cries of jilted lovers to the vengeful spirits of those wronged in life, each mansion holds its own unique tale of horror and intrigue. Whether it's the restless souls of former occupants, the echoes of tragic events, or the lingering presence of dark secrets, these haunted locales pulse with an otherworldly energy that defies explanation. So, grab your lantern, dim the lights, and prepare to uncover the sinister secrets hidden within North America's most haunted mansions. Together, we'll traverse the fine line between the living and the dead, where every creaking floorboard and flickering chandelier may hold a story waiting to be unearthed, and where the silence itself seems to whisper warnings to those who dare to listen. Let the journey begin. The haunting of the Myrtles Plantation nestled along the banks of the Mississippi River in Louisiana. The Myrtles Plantation stands as one of North America's most iconic and haunted mansions. Built in 1796, this antebellum estate is renowned for its southern charm, picturesque gardens, and storied past. Yet beneath its elegant facade lies a chilling legacy of tragedy, murder, and ghostly encounters that have earned it a reputation as one of the most haunted places on the continent. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Myrtles revolves around Chloe, a slave who is said to haunt the plantation. According to local lore, Chloe was a house servant accused of eavesdropping on the family's private conversations. As punishment, her ear was cut off, leaving her permanently disfigured. Consumed by bitterness and resentment, she sought revenge by poisoning a birthday cake intended for the family, killing 2 of the children and their mother. For her crime, Chloe was hanged from a nearby oak tree by the other slaves, her body left to rot as a warning. Today, her spirit is said to wander the plantation at night, often appearing as a young woman clad in a green turban. Witnesses describe her as gliding silently through the halls, her face obscured by shadow, as if searching for something, or someone, that will never come. Some claim to have seen her standing at the edge of the staircase, gazing down at the dining room where the tragedy unfolded. Others report hearing faint sobbing emanating from empty rooms, a mournful melody that seems to rise and fall with the rhythm of the wind. Despite countless attempts to photograph her, Chloe always eludes capture, dissolving into the darkness as though she were never there. Adding to the mansion's haunted mystique is the recurring appearance of shadowy figures along the corridors. Residents and visitors alike recount seeing dark, humanoid shapes darting across hallways or standing motionless near antique furniture, their forms shifting unnaturally as if defying the laws of physics. Witnesses describe feeling an overwhelming sense of dread in their presence, as though the figures radiate a palpable aura of malevolence. In some cases, individuals have reported being physically touched or pushed by unseen hands, leaving bruises or scratches that appear inexplicably hours later. Local historians attribute these manifestations to the numerous fatalities that occurred at the Myrtles over the decades, including slaves who perished under harsh conditions, family members who succumbed to illness, and even Union soldiers who occupied the mansion during the Civil War. It is believed that the spirits of these victims remain bound to the land, their anger manifesting in violent and unpredictable ways. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Myrtles is the persistent legend of the floating woman, a spectral figure said to haunt the master bedroom. According to folklore, she was the wife of one of the plantation's owners, murdered in her sleep by a jealous lover. Her spirit is said to float above the bed at night, often appearing as a translucent woman dressed in white. Witnesses describe her as hovering silently, her hollow eyes fixed on the observer as if pleading for help or vengeance. Attempts to approach her result in her sudden disappearance, leaving behind only the sound of her wails fading into the distance. Paranormal investigators speculate that the floating woman's restless spirit remains bound to the mansion, forever seeking justice or closure for the wrongs inflicted upon her. Equally chilling are the accounts of disembodied voices and ghostly laughter echoing through the stillness of the night. Visitors to the Myrtles have claimed to hear faint whispers carried by the wind, their words indecipherable yet undeniably human. Others describe bursts of mirthless laughter emanating from empty corners of the mansion, sending shivers down their spines. These auditory phenomena are often accompanied by the sensation of being followed, as though unseen eyes are tracking every movement. Some believe these sounds belong to the spirits of children buried in unmarked graves, their playful energy lingering despite the passage of time. Others argue that the laughter is a cruel trick played by more sinister entities, designed to lure unsuspecting trespassers deeper into the mansion's shadowy embrace. The Myrtles Plantation stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the indelible mark left by tragedy. Its ghostly inhabitants, whether mournful, malevolent, or simply misunderstood, refuse to fade into obscurity, ensuring that the mansion remains a magnet for those seeking communion with the supernatural. For those brave enough to venture onto its winding paths after dark, the experience is as unforgettable as it is unsettling, a journey into a realm where the past refuses to let go. As the stars twinkle above and the wind whispers through the trees, the spirits of the Myrtles continue to tell their stories, inviting those brave enough to listen to step closer and tread carefully. The haunting of the Winchester Mystery House. Perched amidst the rolling hills of San Jose, California, the Winchester Mystery House stands as a labyrinthine monument to eccentricity, obsession, and the supernatural. Built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of firearms magnate William Wirt Winchester, this sprawling mansion is a chaotic maze of rooms, staircases, and secret passages that defy architectural logic. By day, its quirky design and historical significance draw thousands of tourists, but as night falls and the surrounding fog rolls in, the mansion transforms into a place of spectral unrest. Known as one of North America's most haunted locations, the Winchester Mystery House is steeped in tales of ghostly apparitions, phantom footsteps, and unexplained phenomena that blur the line between reality and nightmare. One of the most enduring legends tied to the mansion involves the Lady in Black, a spectral figure said to haunt the upper floors. According to local lore, she was a servant who met a tragic end when she fell, or was pushed, from one of the mansion's many balconies. Her spirit is said to wander the house at night, often appearing as a gaunt, pale woman dressed in tattered mourning attire. Witnesses describe her as pacing frantically along the corridor, her hollow eyes fixed on the floor as if reliving her final moments. Some claim to have heard her mournful cries echoing through the empty halls, blending with the howling wind that sweeps through the compound. Attempts to approach her result in her sudden disappearance, leaving behind only the sound of her wails fading into the distance. Paranormal investigators speculate that the Lady in Black's restless spirit remains bound to the mansion, forever seeking justice or redemption for the wrongs inflicted upon her. Adding to the mansion's haunted reputation is the recurring phenomenon of phantom footsteps. Guards and visitors alike recount hearing the distinct sound of boots clomping against the wooden floors, their rhythm steady and deliberate. Yet, when they investigate the source, no one is there. In some cases, the footsteps seem to follow individuals, growing louder and more urgent as if attempting to communicate. Skeptics have attempted to explain these sightings as echoes or structural anomalies, but eyewitness accounts paint a more sinister picture. Many believe the footsteps belong to the spirits of those who perished due to the Winchester rifle, the very weapon that built the mansion. With its labyrinthine design and lack of proper oversight, the house claimed countless lives over the decades, earning it a grim nickname among workers: the House of Sorrow. It is said that the spirits of these victims remain bound to the facility, forever reliving the moments leading up to their untimely deaths. Perhaps the most spine-chilling aspect of the Winchester Mystery House is the pervasive feeling of being watched. Visitors frequently report an overwhelming sense of unease, as though unseen eyes are tracking their every move. This sensation is often accompanied by the distinct impression of cold breath brushing against the back of their necks, though no one is there. One particularly harrowing account comes from a tour guide who led a group through the mansion late one evening. As they stood in the darkened seance room, she began hearing what sounded like labored breathing and faint moans emanating from the shadows. Turning to investigate, she saw nothing but empty chairs and rusted equipment. Yet the sound persisted, growing louder and more desperate until it seemed to surround the group. Terrified, they fled the room, only to discover later that their flashlights had inexplicably drained of power, leaving them stranded in the pitch-black darkness. Equally unnerving are the reports of ghostly apparitions spotted in the guard tower and solitary confinement cells. Witnesses have recounted seeing shadowy figures standing motionless near the barred windows, their forms illuminated only by the moonlight. Some claim to have seen these figures materialize suddenly in their peripheral vision, their hollow eyes fixed on the observer as if pleading for help or vengeance. Paranormal investigators believe these apparitions may represent individuals who died under mysterious circumstances within the hospital, their spirits unable, or unwilling, to move on. The Winchester Mystery House stands as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked authority and the indelible mark left by suffering. Its ghostly inhabitants, whether mournful, malevolent, or simply misunderstood, refuse to fade into obscurity, ensuring that the facility remains a magnet for those seeking communion with the supernatural. For those brave enough to venture into its shadowy depths after dark, the experience is as unforgettable as it is unsettling, a journey into a realm where the past refuses to let go. As the stars twinkle above and the wind whispers through the prairie, the spirits of the Montana State Hospital continue to tell their stories, inviting those brave enough to listen to step closer and tread carefully. Reflecting on the shadows of haunted mansions as we draw this journey to a close, it becomes clear that North America's haunted mansions are more than mere relics of the past. They are thresholds to another realm, where the boundaries between life and death blur like the mist that clings to their ancient walls. Each story we've explored, from the spectral echoes of the Myrtles Plantation to the mournful cries of the Winchester Mystery House, reveals a shared truth. These sites bear witness to the fragility of human existence and the enduring power of memory. The crumbling walls, rusted iron bars, and desolate landscapes serve as both markers of the past and conduits for the supernatural, preserving the echoes of lives lost and ensuring that their stories ripple through eternity. What makes these haunted mansions so compelling is not just the tales of tragedy and loss, but the way they invite us to confront our own mortality. The ghostly figures wandering through abandoned corridors, the disembodied voices carried by the wind, and the inexplicable phenomena that defy logic all serve as reminders that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, waiting for moments of quiet reflection to reveal itself. These haunted grounds challenge us to look beyond the surface beauty of North America's grand estates, urging us to acknowledge the shadows that dwell beneath. But perhaps the most profound takeaway is the universality of these stories. Across cultures, eras, and regions, humanity has always sought to honor its dead, creating spaces of reverence and remembrance. Yet, with every grave that is dug and every tombstone erected, there is a reminder of the cost of that connection. The spirits of those who perished, whether miners buried in haste, grieving widows consumed by sorrow, or Native American ancestors whose lands were taken, linger not out of malice, but out of longing. They seek recognition, closure, or simply a voice to tell their stories. In listening to these whispers, we honor their memories and affirm our shared humanity. As you leave this video behind and perhaps venture to one of North America's haunted mansions yourself, take a moment to pause and listen. Let the cool breeze brush against your skin and the rustling leaves fill your ears. Somewhere in that symphony of nature, you might catch a fleeting glimpse, or a whispered word, of the past reaching out to touch the present. And remember, the land holds secrets far deeper than its soil. Thank you for joining me on this chilling exploration of North America's most haunted mansions. If you enjoyed this journey into the supernatural, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own ghostly encounters in the comments below. Until next time, keep your lantern close and your curiosity sharper, because the shadows are always watching.